I have come to the realization that not only am I trying to grow out my hair and it looks like this, crime, but I've also come to the realization that I haven't done an everyday makeup tutorial, like an updated everyday makeup tutorial in over 6 months, and I needed to remedy that situation immediately because I have learned a lot over the last 6 months, and I have some new tips and tricks up my sleeve that I want to share with you guys. As always, this is gonna be a very beginner-friendly makeup tutorial. I'm gonna show you the makeup look that I like to do every single day whenever I do decide to wear makeup, just to enhance my face. There's not a lot of tools in this, and you don't need a lot of skill to recreate this and look amazing. So if you're into that super everyday natural look, which you probably are and that's why you're here, then this could be the perfect tutorial for you, my friend. Now let's ignore my crazy hair for the day and let's talk beauty, shall we? Before I ever do any makeup, I just like to make sure that my skin prep, aka my skincare, is done. It's absorbed completely. I've applied my SPF, so once that is done, I can move on to my face. Now, the order depends on what I'm feeling on any given day, but I have been trying to do my brows first because I feel like that keeps them from, you know, getting any white cast situations throughout the day, and it just kind of gives me a map as to where I want the rest of my makeup to be. So I have been very into brow powder at the moment. I love my brow pens, I love my brow pencils, but for some reason I've been wanting something a little bit more soft, and I've been getting a few gaps on my brows that I wasn't getting before. So that's a problem for me that I need to rectify, and I do that by using the Danessa Myricks Groundwork Defining Neutrals palette. I finally got my hands on this, you guys. I've been wanting it for so long, and I like to use the shade Sculpted, this one right here. I like to use this brown for all over my brows, and then I like to go in with the shade Chiseled right next to it, yeah, Chiseled, and add just a tiny bit of this more to the inner part of my brow to soften things up. But for the most part, I like to just use the deeper brown and fill in any sparse areas. I don't want this to be crazy. I just want it to look a little more defined. And you can already tell that difference, right? It is very minimal, but it's soft and it gives me exactly what I need. And as always, like, brows are very personal, so whenever I'm watching a tutorial, I try to just do my brows how I like to do them, because sometimes copying someone else is not the way to go, especially if you have like radically different brows than the person you're watching. That is something I have had to learn the hard way. Going in with a bit of the lighter shade and just running it along the sparser areas to define without going crazy. And then to set my brows, I like to go in with the e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel. It is intense, but if I only use a little bit, it's perfect for every day. It keeps my brows in place. It doesn't give me a white cast, even though the formula is white. And it also leaves my brows looking matte. Sometimes brow gels kind of leave your brows looking very shiny. So I just apply a little bit of this, and then I run over my brows with my spoolie before it sets, and kind of shape my brows the way I want them to look. This is an amazing brow gel. It's less than $10, and it leaves my brows just looking beautiful and set, and you can laminate if you want. I'm not a big laminating brow girl, so you can do whatever you want with that brow gel as well. Now for my base, it really does depend on the day and the amount of coverage that I'm looking for, but recently I've been enjoying concealer only. I'm using my Haus Labs Triclone Concealer, the best concealer that ever has existed. I love it, and I like to go in with like a bigger brush first and just grab a little bit of this concealer. I'm having a lot of problem areas currently. My skin is purging last year out of me. It's purging the holiday season out of me, so I have a lot of breakouts. And to be honest with you, I don't like to cover them up all that much because I feel like that just makes things look like you're wearing more makeup and a little bit more heavy. So I do like to concentrate most of the coverage on my under eyes because, yeah, I have pretty bad under eyes. And I like to use a concealer shade that is close to my actual skin tone so that it doesn't, you know, highlight this area, because I'm not wearing anything else. If I was doing like a full face of makeup, maybe that would change. But I just go first with a light hand, and the brush I like to Run this everywhere I have a little bit of redness as well right now because there's a lot of light on me. I'm really hot and that's why my skin is a little bit redder than usual. I don't usually look this red. Just a little bit here. Kind of like covering the breakouts a little, but not all that much. And again, this really depends on where you want to have the coverage. If you like an all-over coverage and you don't need a lot of concealer, you could just do like a skin tint, no concealer for your everyday. But because my under eyes are my problem area, I do like to focus on the concealer. And this does have a little bit more coverage than like your regular skin tint would. But I find that focused coverage is best for me. I'm not really trying to make my under eyes disappear. I'm just trying to make them look a little less intense because this is also like a pretty natural look. I don't mind having my under eyes show through, like peek out a little bit. I don't want them to be the center of attention, but they can peek out if they want. Always like to go in with a sponge to make sure everything is even. I've been talking about this for a while, but I have been very into the more satin, matte, blurred skin as opposed to super dewy skin. I'm using my Tower 28 powder, which has been shattered, so I can't open this and show you because it's gonna go everywhere. I broke it, unfortunately, but yeah, just use like your preferred powder to set if you want to, or if you have skin that needs to be set. If you have drier skin and you don't like to set, and that's totally fine. I like to concentrate this wherever I apply the concealer first, and then whatever's left on the brush, I will take it out wherever I didn't apply anything because I still have, you know, my SPF in those areas, and SPF usually tends to be a little bit shinier. So make sure to set everything so that my skin doesn't look super shiny and dewy. For my cheeks, I do also like to keep it very simple. Because I am a deep winter, I do like to use kind of a contour as a bronzer because it looks kind of like a bronzer on my skin. It translates a little bit warmer. So right now I'm using the e.l.f. bronzer and contour. This is the Camo liquid bronzer and contour in the shade Très Clair. Or no, I'm sorry, it's Fair. Anyways, I do like to apply a little bit of this. I go straight in, a few dots. I like a few dots on the forehead and a few dots on the nose. I like to keep it a very natural at first, then go in with a brush to blend everything out. I blend upward. I like light bronzer. I don't like to look super bronzy on the daily, so I find that this gives me just enough. And it's very easy to blend. If you apply a lot of this, it will give you a bunch of pigment, but if you apply just a little bit and you blend it out, it looks great. The only other thing I do is apply my blush, and currently I'm loving the Janessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Blush. Again, crazy name, you guys know this. This is Rosé and Brunch, and I love this so much. It's a beautiful shade. It really complements my skin tone very well. And I just like to apply a little bit of this to my cheeks. I do like to go a little bit heavier with the blush for some reason. I find that suits me better than a bunch of bronzer, so I mean, it's natural. It's not gonna look that crazy. I'm not applying like a lot of blush. Thankfully, I don't have blush blindness anymore, but I do like to go a little crazier on the blush than I do on the bronzer. Sometimes if I'm feeling crazy, I like to apply a little bit of blush to my lids, whatever is left on the brush, to like tie things together, and I find that that gives me like a pretty rosy look. For some reason I like it, so that is optional, but the blush a little everywhere, wherever it suits you best. I kind of just apply it everywhere and hope for the best, honestly, but if you have specific placement, you can do whatever you want. And now that the cheeks are done and the face is done, we can move on to the eyes, which is arguably my favorite part because, you know, the clean girl look has been in for a long time. I am a little bit sick of that, but for the longest time I wasn't doing anything on my eyes, just mascara. And for the last few months, I've been really into eyeliner and smudging it out and giving it like a smudgy, like smoky look. Again, it's nothing crazy. You could definitely make it a little crazier if you wanted to. It's a little bit more natural, but it's still like smudgy and smoky and a little messy. We're embracing the messy makeup. Okay, let me show you what I mean. All you're gonna need is a brown, black, purple, whatever color you want eyeliner. I would recommend sticking to more neutral shades at first, because if you want it to be like an everyday natural look, neutral shades will look best. I'm going for a brown today, and I'm using the Can Make Tokyo Creamy Touch Liner in 03. This is one of the brown shades, and it is a tiny, tiny, tiny tip. This is a favorite this year because it is super precise, and I've been using it a lot to recreate this look. So the first thing that I like to do is go in to my tight line. Yes, my tight line. I don't do the water line, I do the tight line, and whatever bleeds into the water line, I'll leave it there to give it that extra messy look, but I'm not going super intense on the water line as well. So just go in. Ugh. And I don't go all the way into my eye, I go like 2/3 into it so that I don't close my eye because I have smaller eyes. Then I go in with the same liner and I kinda draw a line on the outer half of my eye. Smudge it with my finger. And I repeat that a few times. Again, it's very smudgy. You could go in with a brush if you wanted more precision, but if you're like on the go and you want to get things done, the finger does everything it needs to do. Then I'll go in with this same eyeliner and kind of extend it a little bit. This is like optional if you don't like a wing, but I do like a faux wing, so I do extend it a little bit and then I drag it with my finger. It's almost not noticeable, but it just gives me that extra lift that I love. So it isn't super complicated. The more you complicate it, like the more you hype it up in your head, the more complicated it's gonna be, but trust me, it can look messy. Like mine doesn't look perfect all the time. I fuck up, the line isn't perfect, but then I go in and smudge everything and it just works, you know? It doesn't have to be like the most perfect, precise, accurate liner. That is the beauty of this look. And just to make sure that the eyeliner is set and it doesn't transfer and smudge throughout the day, I'm gonna go back in with the Danessa Myricks palette and I'm gonna go in with the shade that I used on my brows. If I was using a black, I would use a black, you know. Depending on the color of liner you use a shade of eyeshadow that matches it to set it. I'm grabbing this like flat brush and just a little bit of the product, not a lot, and just like stamping it right along where I applied the liner. It's not hard. Maybe add a little bit to the wing. And it adds a little bit of that extra smudginess without you needing to do anything. So this is like an extra step if you want to. I don't do this every single day, but when I want my makeup to last, I do it. I have to just talk about this one product that has changed the way I do my makeup. You guys are gonna laugh. You're literally gonna laugh when I tell you what I've been using to change my makeup, but it's true, I've been using it. It's been saving my ass. Eyelash curler. I have been using eyelash curlers on and off for forever, ever since I started wearing makeup. I never thought that they did much for me. Like I have naturally long lashes. They're not super straight, they're not the curliest, but they're somewhere in between. So I never felt like I needed a lash curler. And then last year when I was in Japan, I got the Shuimura lash curler. Everyone talks about the Shiseido one. I wanted to try this one, and this is molded to my eye perfectly, I think. Like it works, it's way bigger than my eye, but it kind of works with my eye shape in a way that curls my lashes and makes them last for so long. It doesn't like, you know, clamp them in a weird way or anything. It's just revolutionary. So I've been curling my lashes, you guys. I know this is crazy. I wasn't doing this on the daily, and now that I do, I see a huge difference. So I just like to curl them a little. I don't go crazy. Just mainly like at the root of the lash. And even on days when I'm not wearing any makeup, I will go in and curl my lashes and it'll give me like a really nice look just right off the bat. So yeah, I've been doing that, and then I've been pairing it with my Refi Black Lash Sculpt. This also gives me really, not necessarily long, but really curly lashes for a long time. So this paired with the lash curler makes my lashes last all freaking day long. This was also in my favorites, and I like to apply a few coats of this. It's more of a natural mascara, which I do prefer on the daily. I don't like all the drama. I find that this gives me like enough. And on the daily, I do like to leave my lower lashes bare. this is a little hard to maneuver on lower lashes, and yeah, for the most part, I don't usually do a lower lash mascara. You can if you find that suits you, but I'm telling you, if you want your lashes to be curled for longer, this is a crushing combo, okay? It will crush your look, not in a bad way. I don't know why I'm saying crush. I'm running out of vocabulary words, okay? My English is not Englishing today, but I promise you, this is a combo that I've been doing recently, and it isn't steering me wrong. I'm loving it. Last but not least, I have the lips. For my lips, I'm always changing it up, I feel like, because there's a lot you can do with them, and I have a lot of lip products. But recently, I've been wanting my lips to be a little bit more like, I want them to look stained and blurred, kind of bitten. I don't want it to look like I'm wearing a lot of product on my lips. So I have been looking for a dupe for Benefit Benetint, because Benetint is really nice. There's a lot of shades, and it is a long-lasting stain, but I don't want to buy it yet. I want to try and find a dupe. I found one, not necessarily like the dupest of dupes, dupiest of dupes, but this is doing kind of what I need the other one to do, so I'm gonna use this one for a while and see if I like it, or I can move on and buy actual Benetint in the future. But I am currently using the Pixi by Petra Sheer Cheek Gel. This is a cheek stain in the shade Flushed. This on my cheeks does nothing, like it is too sheer on my cheeks, but on my lips it adds this like beautiful like berry sheer tint. My lips are also super chapped, don't recommend that, but as you can see, it kind of gives it that like super natural tint. I don't have a lot of pigment to my lips naturally, so this adds that tint for me, and I kind of layer it. I let it dry and then I layer, and I let it dry and then I layer. It's kind of what I do, and it does last me quite a good amount of time. Not as much as I wish it did, but it's doing the trick for now. So let me apply this and then we'll talk. So after like 2 layers, this is what my lips look like. I really love the look, and it looks very natural. It feels very comfortable on my lips because I don't have any like actual product on top. This kind of just melts into my lips in a way, but I also want my lips to be a little bit more defined, so that is where my Refi blur liner in the shade Mauve comes to play. I do like to add a little bit of this. Another life-changing product, honestly. Just look at this. Like, hello, my lips look way bigger. I didn't have to do much. The color is a little bit deeper and more pink than the sheer cheek tint, but sometimes I do apply a little bit of this on top of the liner. Sometimes I don't. Today I really like how it's looking. Like, oh my god. It's also clinging to my patches. Let's ignore that, but I'm obsessed with this lip combo at the moment. I really enjoy it, and I love how this defines my lips, blurs the line, makes my lips a little bit more pouty. Like, that is exactly what I live for, and I love this color. I've been using it a lot with this as a lip combo and with literally everything else. After the lips are done, all that's left to do is setting, and because I'm enjoying more of a matte satin look, I'm using the One Size Until Dawn mattifying waterproof setting spray. This is really good to set. I don't know if it's like mattifying though. I haven't found that it gives me any of those effects yet, but it does make my makeup last longer. So if I'm gonna be wearing this on the daily and I want my makeup to last for at least 8 hours, I'm wearing a little bit of this. It has a really strong fragrance. Really strong fragrance, so if you don't like fragrance, don't use this. And once that is done, the look is complete. Let me come a little closer to the camera so you can see it up close. As I said, it's very easy. There might be a few more details here and there. It's not as like just slap on and go, but I find that these little details kind of enhance my face a little bit more and they just make everything look naturally beautiful. And it's a little messy, it's a little smudgy, like it's fun. I don't know why I'm moving my head from side to side just so you guys can see what's going on here, but yeah, this is a look. What do you think? As I said, there is a little bit more nuance with a look like this, but it's still natural enough for every day. Whenever I'm doing this on myself, it takes me like 20 minutes max. There might be like a few more steps to follow, but I still feel like this is natural enough for the everyday. It's not clean, girl, you know, it's not super clean, like barely there makeup. You can tell there's a little bit of makeup here. It's a little bit more messy, but not in a bad way, just like there's a little bit more smudge going on, especially in the eyes. That is what I'm going for this year. Like, the death of the clean girl. I want to look look a little bit more messy and smudged, and I want my makeup to look like I'm actually wearing something while still making it natural because I love natural makeup. So use whatever you have in your makeup bag, in your vanity to recreate this. You don't need to use the exact same products that I did. Whatever you have works. This is very easy to recreate and very easy to customize. If there's some things you want to add or take out, you can really make this look your own. So please let me know if this was helpful, and if you want more videos like this, more like tutorial style videos where I show you step by step what to do. And if there's anything you want to see from me this year, also feel free to request it down below. I aim to please, and I want to know what you guys want to see from me. So leave it down below and I will add it to my list. But that is it for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, I hope this was helpful. I hope you had fun, and I hope I get to see you right here for my next video. Bye! Mwah.